Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Night Live. I hope you've had a wonderful day celebrating the dads in your life. And if you are a dad yourself, happy Father's Day. I am going to be sharing with you today how you can create how-to infographics in Canva for education. I shared this, I think it was a week or two ago, a sign that I saw when I was walking in to Trader Joe's. And for those of you who don't have a Trader Joe's near you, it is kind of a grocery store, but they have just really kind of fun, unique items. And I love shopping there. I was really excited when we got one in town because we went for a lot of years without a Trader Joe's. But there was this how-to sign as I was walking in, and I thought, you know what? This would be a really cool thing for students to create in class to demonstrate what they know. And this could cover all sorts of topics, all sorts of different family and consumer science subject areas, but just a lot of different subject areas in general. And so tonight I'm going to share with you how you can create something very similar to what I saw at Trader Joe's in Canva. And if you are joining in, I would love for you to say hi. So please jump into the chat and let me know you are here, because it's always just great to know that there are people listening in. And I always love for people to chime in with their ideas and their thoughts as well. So just put your name in the chat if you are jumping in. If you are not and you jump in later, you can still leave comments. And I know because it's Father's Day, there's a lot of you who are celebrating your dads, which you should be. So definitely chime in later too if you watch this after the fact and not watching it live. So we're just going to jump right in today, and I'm going to share with you how you can access Canva, how you're going to be able to bring this kind of a learning experience into your classroom. So I am first going to go to the Canva homepage. This is what the Canva homepage looks like. Now, if you do not have Canva for Education, you can get it 100% free if you are an educator in K-12 education. And that means you get all the premium bells and whistles. You don't have to just have a basic account. You get the Canva premium that others pay for. And there's a lot of other things that are created specifically for education as well. So you're really getting a wonderful platform that you can bring into your classroom for student creation, for student collaboration. So I am on the homepage in Canva right now. And I first want to show you how you can search for infographic templates that already exist in Canva, because Canva has a vast template collection in all sorts of different formats, different types of doc types. I mean, you can create websites, so many different things. So I'm just going to go ahead up here on the top, and I am going to type infographic. And notice that I am on templates right here. So if I went over to projects, that would be searching my own collection of creations for an infographic. But if I search templates, that's searching the Canva marketplace of templates. So I'm going to simply click enter. And now I can see all of the infographics that are in Canva's library. And you're going to notice right here, 14,840 templates. That is a lot of templates, almost so much so that you can feel a little overwhelmed. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip. If I go to this all filters, it is going to streamline my search. So I can search specific categories. I can search specific formats. I can search things that are print ready. I can search styles, themes, things that have animation in them, even grade levels if I'm looking for a grade level template, subject area, and topic. So I have a lot of ways that I am going to be able to narrow down that search. I'm going to show you another trick. If I don't just put infographic here, I put how to infographic. Now, when I search, it is going to narrow that down to 8,520 infographic templates that are just focused on how to infographics. So again, I can filter it down even more, but now it's really giving me a focus for that infographic, which is really helpful. Now, let's say I want to do a how-to infographic and I want to have it food related. Again, I am going to be able to search down here and I'm going to see that there are, somehow there's more with food because it's probably food, but there are tons and tons of templates that I can look for. So let's look and see what it looks like when I hover over any one of these templates. So let's say I hover over this, how to cook a healthy meal. Notice that I can star this template and it will save it for me for later in the starred content. I also can click on these three little dots here and I can preview this template. So if I want to look at it a little bit closer, I can do that. If there were more pages to this design, I also would be able to flip through all of the pages. And it's even going to show me more templates that are similar to that one that I can use. I can also share here if I wanted to share. Now, if I back out again and click on those three little dots, notice that I can also translate this template. So if I was wanting to translate this template into another language, I would be able to go over here, type in the language that I want to translate to, and look what it does for me. It even asks me what kind of a tone of voice would I like to use in this template. So I might want more of a professional tone, or maybe depending on my audience, I want it to be more conversational or more friendly or more informative or inspirational. I can decide which tone I want to use and then decide, do I want to translate the entire page or do I want to translate a specific text box? So I'm going to click on translate page and then click on this translate button here. And then what it is going to do is it's going to translate everything within this template. Now notice how some of the boxes got a little wonky because of course, from one language to another, you're going to have different lengths of words, different characters, all of that. So I can also go up to settings here and I can reduce font to fit when I do that translation. And then it will fit the text box. So it's kind of a little help for you as you are creating infographics and your students are creating infographics, that you can set those settings to exactly what you're looking for. You can even duplicate page when translating or mirror the page to match the text direction. So many, many templates that we can search for in Canva. So what I want to do now is I want to go into the design editor and I want to show you how you can actually create your own template from scratch. So I am going to go to this infographic poster design that I opened up. I simply went to my templates. I typed in infographic poster. And right here on the top, this is where I can create my blank infographic poster. Sometimes I like to use the poster rather than the typical infographic because it's a little wider and there's just a little bit more room to create. And so that is what I chose for this one. Now, this is my inspiration. This is what I saw when I went to Trader Joe's. And so I'm going to give you some tips on how you could create something similar in Canva from scratch. So I'll be kind of moving up and down from from this first page to the second page as I go. But I'm going to go down here to the second page where I have a blank slate. And I want to create kind of a similar background for my infographic that has kind of that chalkboard look to it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go into my elements and I am going to look for a photo. So click on photos here that has a black chalkboard look to it. And you're going to see a variety of different black chalkboards that I can use, all very similar, but some of them you can kind of have that more of the white chalk kind of look to it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one here. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, that doesn't fit. That isn't the right dimension shape for this infographic. I'm going to show you a trick. I can go up to the three little dots here, and I can go to set images background, and I want you to see what happens. Now that chalkboard filled the background of this page, and now I have a chalkboard as my backdrop. Now, you'll notice in this infographic here, there's kind of this hot pink border. And I want to create a border for mine as well. And so I'm going to show you a trick for doing this. I am going to go over to my elements again, but now I'm going to click shapes. I'm going to click this square shape. And what's really cool about this square shape is that I can make this square shape a rectangle as well. And I can stretch it all the way to the very edge of my design. So now I have a square overlaying this chalkboard look. So now what I want to do is I want to go up to this circle up here, and I don't want a black square. I want a transparent square. So I'm going to click transparent. And so now we see that chalkboard again, but I also want a border. So I'm going to click up here where I see these lines, and I want to choose my border weight. Let's choose a hot pink. And I want to move my border weight to about, I want it to be kind of thick. We'll go right here. So now I have a similar look. I've got my chalkboard background, and then I have my hot pink border around that, which is really fun to be able to do that. So now let's think about what we want to add to this infographic. We see at the top here, we have a watermelon. We have a little speech bubble here. So I'm just going to go back to my elements and click within my search bar so my categories come up. And I want to look for graphics of watermelon. And when I do, you see all of these fun, different infographics that pop up that are watermelon. And so I could go through and I could pick any of these that I thought would give the right vibe that I wanted for my how to watermelon poster. So this one is just kind of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and add this, and we'll just kind of give it a little tilt here up on top. Now I want to add a title to this. And here this says how to select a ripe watermelon. So let's go ahead and click on this third icon down on the left-hand side that says text. And I'm going to do a heading size. And I'm going to simply type in, I'm going to make all caps, how to select we'll do a little space here. And now this is a little bigger than I want it to be. So I'm going to take my corners and I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. Now, sometimes when you're working in Canva, things move that you don't want to move. So notice how when I was trying to move this, my border moved. So what I can do to change that and prevent that from happening is I can click on that border, go to my three dots, and I can actually lock this in place so it doesn't move. And so now I don't have to worry about that background border moving when I'm moving things in my design. So now if I wanted to change the font here to maybe something a little different, maybe something that kind of had a more fun feel to it, I can go ahead and I can change that to whatever I want. But what's also fun is I can go up to effects and I can add some different fun effects. So if I wanted to maybe add a shadow and make that shadow maybe a hot pink color, I can do that. I also could go up to effects and I could even make a curve if I want to make a curve, and I can decide how much of a curve I want that to have. So lots of options on how I can really create an effect for that just exactly the way that I want it. So now let's go ahead and think about adding the second part of the title, and that is ripe watermelon. And so notice how in this infographic, this text box has a fun, like actual watermelon effect. Well, guess what? You can do that in Canva too, and I'm going to show you how. So I am going to go into my apps in Canva, and I am going to type magic morph. And I'm going to click on this magic morph that appears right here. Now I can select something that I want to change in my design. So I could choose this, but this isn't what I want to turn into the watermelon effect. I actually want to create another text box that says ripe watermelon. Make it a little bigger here. And we're going to just change the line spacing just a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to add that right below. And I'm going to go back to my apps, and I want to select this text to change into an actual watermelon look. So I am going to type watermelon. And now I'm going to click magic morph, and let's see what happens. It's going to give me 4 different options for this. And so I can decide which option that I would like to use. And now, so it's thinking. And I see that Russell Richmond and Cheryl Clark are watching. Thanks so much for joining in. I'm so glad that you are here. I'm not sure if comments are working. If they're not, I am sorry. I don't know why that is happening. But now you can see here that I have 4 different styles of watermelon font. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one because that looks interesting. And you can see when I make it bigger, how it's kind of brought in this watermelon effect into my design. So now I can get rid of this one that I had, and I now have a font that has the watermelon look to it. So kind of fun. And if I don't like what it created, I can create again and it will generate more. So this magic morph is actually using AI in Canva to create that. So it's all of it is brand new. So every time you click create, it's going to come up with its own response to your request and give you more suggestions, which is really fun. So you can see this time it made it more like there's not as much green, it's all red. So it'll be interesting to see what the other 2 are like. So this one is, oh, I like what we have already. So we're just going to go with that. So now I have my title, I've got my little fun graphic on top. So let's see what else is in this infographic. Now I have kind of these subheadings that talks about what to look for, what to listen for, what to feel, and how it will pair well with other things. So now I can go over to my text again, and I can select maybe some subheadings. And for this first one, I will say, look for. And then what I like to do is I like to just click on it and click duplicate. And then it will just duplicate that exact same size. So I can have 3 different settings. One will be look for, one will be listen, and one will be feel. And maybe for these, I want to have a different look all together. And maybe I want to do a permanent marker kind of a font. You can choose whatever you want. Maybe I want to change this font color so it matches the watermelon right here. So let me show you how you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and click on my font, which is this capital A up here. And I'm going to go over to this plus sign that kind of has this gradient colors around it. And I'm going to click on this little dropper here. And when I click on this dropper, I'm going to drop it right onto this watermelon so I can grab this color. And look what happens. It changes this font to the color of the watermelon. I do it again. Now this color is already here. So now I can just click on that color for the other two. And now my font is the same color of this watermelon on top. I can also change the alignment. So it is all to left. So it's all kind of even on the side of my page. And now after looking at this, I really don't think I want this border to be hot pink anymore. So because it's locked, I have to unlock it up here. But now I'm going to select that same border. So now I have kind of that look all the way through. Now I want to add the description here below and add a maybe body text little section. So I'm going to duplicate again by clicking Control D on my keyboard. So I have a little text box for each. And now I'm ready to fill in that body of text. And so what is fun about this is that you could create your base template for students to use and to customize, or students can create their own from scratch, or they can find an infographic template in the Canva template library. So there's lots of options, really depending on, for one, how comfortable your students are in Canva, two, the grade level of your students, and three, how much, how much structure you want to give students for this particular type of activity. But what I think is really powerful about infographics is it is really allowing your students to take what they've learned, synthesize that information, summarize, and put it in an infographic form that is going to be informative and is going to be visually appealing and will visually communicate what they want to share. And this is really, I think, an important skill for students to have that really, again, crosses all subject areas. It really crosses all grade levels. Students in elementary, middle, or high school could do something like this. And what's also kind of fun is they can also go in and they could maybe add a QR code that links to maybe a video that they've shared. And thanks, Raz. I love that you love the watermelon font. It'd be fun for you just to go in and play with different types there. So I am going to show you how you can bring in QR codes in Canva. I'm going to go into my apps and I'm going to type in QR. And you're going to see there are a lot of QR code apps in Canva. One that is fun to use is, there's a lot of them that are fun to use, but we're going to do this Hello QR art down here. And what I can do with this particular one is I can take whatever URL that I want to grab. So you know what, just for the sake of this, let's just grab the URL from this just so I can show you how to paste it in. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it here. And then what I want to do is I want to give it a description. So I am going to say a watermelon. Generate. And it's going to come up with 4 QR codes that all have kind of a watermelon vibe to them. So we're going to see what we get. Again, it's AI. And so you never know what it's going to come up with, but that is actually pretty fun. And actually for this QR art app, it only gives you one. I forgot that. It doesn't give you 4 options. So now I could bring in this QR code to the bottom of my infographic poster. And now when people scan that, it's going to take them to maybe another resource that supports the information that was shared in the infographic. So really powerful just activity for students to do. And then you could even print these if you want them printed, put them up in your room. Students could maybe share them other places as well. So now those of you who are thinking, okay, so I love this type of an activity, but what does this look like to be able to share it with students? So on the top right, you're going to see this share button here. And let's say that you created this template that you wanted students to go in and customize. You can click on share and then go down to template link. Now, if you do not see template link right here, if you go down to the more menu and type in template, it will pop up for you. And then you simply click create a template link, copy that, and now you can share this template with students wherever you share template links, wherever you share links. So it might be your classroom management system. It might be another place that you share things. That's how you do it. Another thing that I want you to understand is that in Canva, you also can share directly through Google Classroom. So if you are a Google Classroom user and you want to create a Google Classroom workflow, you can do that as well if you have Canva for Education, and it will connect directly with your Google Classroom. And now you have your template link already attached. You can give directions and the title to this activity and then send it to whoever, to your entire class, or maybe individual students that you want it to go to. Last thing that I'm going to share is that you can lock things just like I did for this border in place really easily. And you can also not just lock it, but lock maybe the text box in place, but still allow it to be typable. So let me give you an example. Let's say that I want this to be locked. I'm going to go to my three dots and I'm going to click lock. But maybe for this text box, I want it to be locked, but I want students to be able to add their own information here. I can go to the three dots, click lock, and now go to lock position only. So now I can have students add whatever information they want in that text box. Notice I can't change fonts, I can't do other things, but I can have them add that information. So that is really helpful as well. Another thing that I can do is if I wanted to lock certain things in place. So let's say we want to lock this in place so that it stays. But let's say we want to lock a bunch of things together. So maybe I want to lock this watermelon guy with the title all together. I'm going to drag my cursor over all of it, let go, and then notice what happens when I change the size. It all changes together. So I can move it around in one big chunk, which really makes it easier for you to design and manipulate different graphics and text around your page. So just a really helpful, I think, tip for you as you are creating and having your students create in Canva. So I hope that gives you some ideas. I would love for you to share if you're watching this later. I would love for you to share in the chat what ideas come to mind, maybe ways that you have used infographics in your classroom, because we're better together. And I would love to hear how you are using an activity like this. I also want to share with you, let's see if I can bring it up here, that I think I'm going to have to stop sharing for a minute. And I am going to share another screen. And we'll do this one. Whoops, we'll do this. Okay, I'm getting there. Still learning this whole StreamYard situation. But I wanted to share with you, and hopefully you are seeing what I see. Yep, I see that I am. So this is going to happen in August. I'm super excited about it. Over the years, I've had a lot of people say, I love what you have shared in Make Learning Magical about your gamified classroom. I really want to do this. And a lot of you have been extremely successful and have created amazing gamified classrooms. But some of you have just asked for resources like some of the editable game plans, and maybe you've wanted some of the resources that support the Great Food Truck Race and the Amazing Race and MasterChef. And maybe you are teaching other classes where you would love resources to support your fashion design or interior design. And some of you just want somebody to walk you step by step, be able to ask questions, and be able to really customize your class in a gamified way. And I am here for you. And that is why I created this extreme gamified makeover, so that I can come along and support you and walk you through every step of the process of gamifying your classroom and provide all of the resources that you might need. So this is going to include 4 live 1-hour interactive episodes that begin August 1st. I'm going to have 2 brainstorming Q&A sessions where you can just ask all your questions. We can idea share together. And then you're going to get a comprehensive toolkit of lots and lots of resources, game plans, badges that are not only in Google version, but in Canva version as well, that you're going to be able to customize and make your own. And then we're also going to have a private Facebook group so that you can all dialogue back and forth and support each other as you are gamifying your classroom. So you can scan this QR code or go to the bit.ly link on the bottom to learn more. And please reach out if you have any questions. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. And I thank you for joining me and for just being there and doing amazing things in your classroom every day, and for um, just for those of you who've just connected with me and have wanted to just brainstorm and really bring as much magic as you can into teaching and learning. I just find you all so incredible and so inspirational, and I just love being with you on this journey. I will be at ISTE, which is a huge EdTech conference in Denver starting on Friday, and for a lot of the following week. So I will be there from Friday till Thursday, and then I'm going to be heading to Lubbock, Texas to have an incredible day of learning with CTE FCS teachers there, and I cannot wait. So I will not have a Facebook Live next Sunday because of my travels, but I will be back the following week. And as always, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope you are thoroughly enjoying your summer. For those of you who are still in school, hang in there. You are so close. Good night, everyone.